Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Well, bright sunshine, 86 degrees on the barn thermometer. It is warm out there, the dew point 64 degrees with a 48% relative humidity. Basically, it's just our typical warm September afternoon. A couple quick calendar reminders. Coming up tomorrow, Mercer Landmark will be hosting the 3rd annual Agro Expo at the Laddie Agronomy Facility. That's in Paulding County. To learn more or to attend, visit agroexpo.com. Also, tune in next week. The Axis Seed County Fair Tour takes us to the Wayne County Fair. That for the Junior Fair check presentation. That'll happen on Monday, September the 9th, and you'll hear the radio coverage on the 10th. The Wayne County Fair and Certified Angus Beef invite you to visit the Wayne County Fair September 7th through the 12th. Visit waynecountyfair.com to learn more. I'm visiting today with Brandon Kern. He is the Director of Public Affairs and Issue Analysis for the Ohio Soybean Council and Soybean Association. Brandon, what kind of update can you give us on the Farm Bill?
Well, Congress is back in session. So, they had their August recess, and they are back in session in the month of September. But I'm not holding my breath here that we're going to get any action on the Farm Bill. As they come back into session, the top priority is going to have to be the appropriations process, funding the federal government to avoid a government shutdown. And, that takes a lot of time and a lot of focus. It sucks up a lot of oxygen on Capitol Hill when they're going through that process. And so they'll have just a few short weeks here. Maybe even as few as 2 weeks, as I've been talking to some people, to get some progress done. So the appropriation process is going to take front and center. I was a part of a meeting last week with Congressman Dave Joyce, who actually had G.T. Thompson join a roundtable group of farmers by telephone to talk to them. And he was talking about he's still very hopeful and is pushing very hard to get lame duck action. So after the November election, to get Congress, his colleagues in Congress, to act on the Farm Bill. And so, I think that we've been hitting that really hard, talking about how badly we need to have a new Farm Bill, that an extension of the current Farm Bill is not going to be adequate to address the farm economy that we are entering into right now. And so, we're trying to keep the pressure on members of Congress to get this done. And, lame duck seems like a plausible period of time in which the politics of the election and, so on and so forth. All these issues that you and I have talked about are kind of at least a little bit removed post-election, and maybe we can get something done there.
So there's still a chance.
There's still a chance. You're telling me there's a chance.
All right. Again, my guest today is Brandon Kern. He is Director of Public Affairs and Issue Analysis for the Ohio Soybean Council and Soybean Association. Let's take a check of that Thursday weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Sunny, very warm, and more humid here for your Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio forecast update very quickly. Humidity values are up ahead of our next frontal boundary. That frontal boundary will make its presence known here likely as we move into tomorrow morning, with rains starting in northwest Ohio, spreading across the rest of the state through the balance of Friday. Do I think we're looking at good rains? Well, potentially, but I do need to leave the caveat that we can see some areas get missed. 80% coverage is what I'm penciling in, 1/4 to 1 1/4 inches. We're looking at that going all the way through Saturday midday. Then we dry down and get sunshine back for the balance of the weekend. We're cool, and then we're dry and warm all of next week. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Taking a look at your agricultural headlines, a South Dakota company will be doing field trials of dairy's H5N1 vaccine. Now, following U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack's announcement last week of the USDA's approval for vaccine testing for the H5N1 for cattle, South Dakota-based animal health vaccine manufacturer MedGen has responded to the notice. Quote, "We have a number of companies that have been working on the vaccine, and one company has presented sufficient information to the USDA to allow me to authorize the first field trial for the vaccine for cattle for the H5N1 safety purposes," Vilsack said. "The field trial will be done in hopes of moving forward for safe and effective uses of that vaccine." Now, this also happened as California announced its first H5N1 case at 3 dairies in the Central Valley. This makes for 14 states affected by the outbreak and 197 confirmed cases, that as of September the 4th. Medgen has been successful in prescription platform vaccine production in the swine, cattle, rabbit, and deer industries, both in the U.S. and internationally, and Chief Operating Officer Tom Halberd said in a news release that this is great news for their company. For the CVB, the United States Department of Agriculture's Center for Veterinary Biologics, more importantly, the dairy industry, our technology is founded on being able to respond to disease challenges faster. Our protocol satisfies the state requirements, and we're looking forward to doing our part in supporting both the necessary regulatory policies and the needs of the dairy industry. Let's take a look at how your market's closed for a Thursday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. September corn closed down a half a penny at $3.90. December new crop corn down 2 cents at $4.10 3/4. September soybeans closed up 2 1/4 cents at $10.08 1/4, with November new crop beans down 2 at $10.23 1/2 cent. And wheat for September closed down 4 1/4, $5.61. Wheat for July of 25 closed down 5 1/2 cents at $6.12 1/4 cent. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.